So Tom, thank you so much for coming in.
It's great, man. It's good to see you.
Appreciate it. Good to see you. Welcome,
Awesome.
welcome,
Yeah.
welcome. So let's just get started. The Rosetta Stone of Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin and why do people call you that?
Well, it's pretty simple. I mean, people, the Bitcoin image is this 35-year-old white computer geek, and they don't speak English. They speak in like computer terms. And so it's important that when we go out and talk to people, we talk in a language they can understand. That's the only way digital currency will be adopted, is when people actually understand it. And if you think about the terms of the internet when they first came out, we needed a translator for it. And AOL did the best job translating it for us. They made it easy. And so my goal is the Rosetta Stone of Bitcoin, of new currency, is to get people to understand what digital currency is. We use it on a daily basis. We just use different forms of it. And so I say, if I could send you email money, would you understand that? If I could send you an email with money attached, would you understand that? Well, everybody understands PayPal. So I have to speak in frameworks that people use today, because Bitcoin is pretty foreign to people.
It is. It's one of those things that I don't know a lot about. I've heard about it. It's kind of been around for the last few years. So take me through somebody that's never heard of Bitcoin and you're saying digital currency. Educate me as if I know nothing on that. And the audience here, what is it about digital currency? What is it and how can they use it right now?
Well, number one, it's better experienced than explained. So like I did with you, I sat down and we actually did a transaction.
Yes, yeah, it was cool.
And so if you want to do that, you can go to setupcoinwallet.com and there's a 4-minute video and it explains how to do it, and we'll actually send you some money to donate it to United Way. So first, what I would say is do a transaction and you'll see you're just really sending value to each other. And Bitcoin, it's an interesting thing. It's almost like a stock. Mm-hmm. So imagine your currency growing like the value of Google stock did. Is that intriguing to you? Mm-hmm. Would you like to see your currency, the value of your
yes.
savings? Okay, so
yeah.
I've got your attention, so that's where we start. And a digital currency is interesting because it's finite. But the example I use, it's kind of like digital currencies like the 1965
What does that mean, finite?
Well, it's like the 1965 Mustang.
Yeah.
There's only so many of them made, 649,440 of them. Each one had a VIN number. Well, that VIN number is like a digital currency number.
Sure.
Okay, so every serial number, every digital coin has a serial number that's unique. And so it's just like when you look at the dollar bill, if you pull one out, it has a serial number on it. When you look at a house deed, it's got a serial number on it. Everything we do in value has a serial number attached. Well, Bitcoin has 21 million serial numbers. And it's kind of like beachfront real estate. They're not making any more of it. There's only 21 million serial numbers. And that's, as the community has grown around Bitcoin, the value of Bitcoin has gone from 10 cents to $1,203 per coin. If you had to put $1,000 in Bitcoin, you'd have had 12 million at its peak. Right now, you'd have about 6 million. It's come down to about 600. So it does fluctuate like a stock does. Mm-hmm. So, when I'm out there translating to people, I just say, imagine having currency that it moves in value kind of like a stock does. One difference, a stock, they can issue more stock. A company can dilute your stock. Bitcoin, they can't.
So why is that advantageous then?
Well, as the community grows around the 1965 Mustang, what's happened to the value of the Mustang?
It's gone up.
Okay, $25,000 to $250,000 for an Eleanor. Okay, why? Because there's only so many of them.
Correct.
So as a community grows around a finite asset, so does the value of the coin.
Okay.
Or any asset, or any serial number. And so, that's the best thing to explain. It's like, I tell people that when you invest in something that's finite, it's like beachfront real estate. What's the magic saying? Invest in beachfront real estate. Why? Because they're not making any more of it.
Exactly.
Okay? Well, look what's happened in Florida. It's right where we're at. Beachfront capital of the world. Mm-hmm. So.
I love it. So walk me through the process. I go in and I sign up for Bitcoin. I don't even know what I'm doing. I've got, I give you $100 or $5,000 or talk about a business that maybe is bringing in, $12 to $15 million a year, and they want to utilize Bitcoin.
They want to accept Bitcoin as a payment method.
As a payment method. You talked about a disruption, which we'll get into in a second, but just that initial setup process.
I'll give you a great example.
Yeah.
What's your most expensive product here at Grant Cardone?
The most expensive product would be our training program.
Okay, how much is that?
That ranges anywhere from $36,000 on up.
Okay, and average credit card fee on that would be 3%?
About, yes.
Okay, so it would cost you a lot of money to sell a $36,000 package on using credit card. We're talking about, what, $900?
Sure.
To do the transaction.
Sure.
Okay, with Bitcoin, it would cost you 1%.
Okay.
Irreversible. Wow. No fraud.
Okay.
Instant. Mm-hmm. And a company like BitPay.com in Atlanta, a great company. GoCoin is another one that can help you. BitX is another one. And they will actually convert the Bitcoin. So I would walk in here with my mobile app, or you'd send me a QR code or an account number,
Sure.
and I would pay the money to that account number. It would hit instantly.
Okay.
No bank to delay it over Friday. Hang on to your money, float it.
Oh, so it takes out that we got to hold this for 3 to 5 days. Deal. It's
Exactly.
like,
There's
boom,
no holds on it either.
I've got money right away.
In milliseconds, it's in your account.
Okay.
Now, it might take up to a minute for it to get confirmed, but it's in your account.
Okay, so we have that. You get the funds, they come in. How does somebody transfer that Bitcoin into
Like
cash?
BitPay does it for you. That's what they charge the fee for. They charge the fee to convert it to cash, and they put it in your checking account.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
great. So then why would I?
And you could keep like a percentage in Bitcoin.
Okay.
Say if you want, say I want to keep 30% in Bitcoin. Why would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Is the dollars you're putting in your bank account, are they appreciating in value? No, they're not. And actually, in the last 30 years, they've decreased by 40%. So, I mean, Grant's about the same age I am, you are too. We've lost 40% of our buying power in the last 30 years since we've been working. So we've been running up a down escalator.
So this is
and our moms told us that was a dumb thing to do.
That's incredible. So this is almost a way to, I don't want to say save money, but protect the value of money.
It's the best hedge against inflation out there.
Wow, okay, great.
And I mean, I'm looking, like my portfolio, I say I want to keep 5 or 10% of my cash in Bitcoin to keep up with inflation, and as it grows, I have more buying power. Great example, I have some OneCoins that I had a year ago that were 50 cents a piece. Today they're $7. Mm-hmm. A year ago when I bought a hamburger for $15, it cost me about 31 coins. Today it cost me 2. So it's the number of units that I'm using is what matters. So instead of using 31 coins, I'm only using 2 OneCoins.
Okay, so how could you measure like wealth or rich or success in Bitcoin as opposed to like somebody that's worth $350 million? How would that translate into Bitcoin?
Same way. I mean,
Same exact way.
Yeah. I mean, the CFTC has recognized it as a commodity, so it's no different than having $350 million in Bitcoin as a commodity.
Okay.
So and it's the tax treatment's done the same way as a commodity.
I love it. So, okay. So one of the things that we brought up before we started talking about this is that, it's bankless banking.
Sweet.
Talk about bankless banking. What is that? I mean, I know what it means.
It's kind of like a postless post office.
A postless post office. That's incredible.
So in '91, we were going around teaching everybody how to send emails, communications, without using a post office. We'd come by and put that modem and make that loud screeching noise, and we'd say, okay, watch this, we're going to send an email. And since none of your friends had one, we were sending them to like one of our accounts. We set up one for you. And we show people how to circumvent the post office.
Right.
That became very disruptive for the post office. They were profitable in '91 as a government agency, the only one, by the way. Today, they're hemorrhaging $90 billion a year. Okay, they're losing massive money. Why? Because we broke the value chain that was vital to the existence of the post office. You don't need a stamp anymore to send a letter. If you do, you're old school,
right.
But you don't need it. And so when you think of a disruption in what we're doing, we're teaching people how to send money without using a bank. Now that's disruptive to the banking industry, or without using Western Union.
Right, because you're actually giving the person direct control over their finances immediately.
Yeah.
As opposed to not.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got Eric, my buddy, who was here in the studio today. I did a transaction with him today, and I sent him $5, and it cost me like 4 cents.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And we did it and when we first hooked up on a show. You set me up on Bitcoin, and then so where are some of the places that I could use that?
There's about 500,000 places, and I should mention that PayPal is coming out with a digital coin wallet now.
Okay.
And Amazon, you can use an app called Purse.io. Save 10 to 15% on your Amazon purchases by using Bitcoin. You can save if you're an avid Starbucks drinker. You can buy your Starbucks dollars with Bitcoin, and they'll give you 10% off.
Grant would love
You know why? It's because they have no fraud, no credit card fees, no delays, no chargebacks, nothing. So they'll give you the extra 10%. What that tells me is businesses are losing between 6 and 10% for using Visa, MasterCard.
Wow, that's incredible. So, okay, so take me through, what are you doing every day in your industry? Like, what's your role? What's your responsibility? I know you talk about that you're teaching people, but let's dive into that a little bit and kind of explain to the audience, what is it that you're providing for people in relation to Bitcoin?
Yeah, it's real basic 101. We want people to do a transaction. And we want you to do your first bankless banking transaction outside of a government-issued currency, and we want you to try it. And so I'm out there educating. I do probably 100 of them a week. So I'm sending out, I get emails every day from people saying, hey, I just set up my PayPal account, or my Bitcoin account, would you send me $1? Sure. And so I do that, and I have them turn around and have them donate it to United Way, so they can learn something.
I did it.
Yeah,
I did
and do some good. So that's the first step. The second step is I want them to read my book, The Seventh Disruption. Okay, and that is all. It's a whopping 30-page ebook. But people who read it, lights go off in their head. They go, wow, I can understand why this is the Napster of the banking industry. I understand why this is the Wikipedia of the encyclopedia industry. I understand why this is the Kodak of the mobile phone industry. Why did I say mobile phone? Kodak was not disrupted by digital cameras. They had digital cameras. They were disrupted by mobile phones.
Yes.
And that because they didn't have mobile phones. And so Kodak, you look at Kodak and EMI and all these massive industries that were just completely, sold off in bankruptcy. It's because of, say, Sean Fanning, a college kid who wrote some computer code that showed people how to download music. That's how disruptive we are. There's people that are working in a company called Ethereum right now that are working to disrupt Uber.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Cutting out the middleman completely.
Incredible.
And that's really what this is about. It's about getting rid of the middleman.
Getting rid of the middleman, and it seems like giving you more control directly over your finances.
10/10 of the law. It's not 9/10. 9/10 of the law is if I give you possession of my money to hold, I've given up 1/10 of my money.
Right.
People say it's not a big deal. Ask the people in Argentina or Greece who went to their teller machine one day and only could take out $50 a week or a day.
Okay.
So
like Grant was talking about this one time. He was trying to withdraw about $1 million out of an account.
Good luck.
And they gave him a hard time doing that.
Yeah.
Could Bitcoin make that a simpler transaction for him?
Oh yeah, he wouldn't. He is the bank.
He is the bank.
Yeah,
So how would he get cash out of that immediately?
Well, okay. So what you would do? Have you ever set up an E-Trade account?
I have not. No.
Okay,
But
so
for our audience, maybe.
online stock brokerage account, anything like that,
Familiar.
E-Trade or TD Ameritrade or anything like that, Coinbase or Kraken are two big ones.
Right.
And you can set up what's like a stock trading account, but you're able to trade all the different currencies. They don't offer stocks, it's only digital currencies. Or Gemini, that's here in the United States, the Winklevoss twins who started Facebook, they have the first licensed one up in New York.
Wow, okay.
And so there's lots, that's where all this volume, this new trading volume is coming from in digital currencies because of that exchange.
Understood. So how could someone like Grant say, okay, I want to withdraw?
So he's got $1 million in Bitcoin.
Yeah,
He says,
talk
I need
about that.
100,000 bucks today. He hits a sell button, sells 100,000, they deposit in his checking account.
Wow.
Okay.
Instantly.
If he owed somebody 100,000 bucks that was in South Africa, he'd pull up his mobile app, he'd type in their account number or scan their QR code, type in 100,000 bucks and hit send, and it goes there in 2 seconds and it's a free transaction. What set the banking industry off was somebody sent $150 million over Bitcoin in one transaction with no fees, and it was instantaneous and did not require a middleman to verify it.
Incredible. So there's no direct way to transfer Bitcoin currency directly into cash without going through the bank.
There are ways. I mean, localbitcoins.com, like I could sell Bitcoins to a friend who may want to buy them, who wants to give me cash. So that's kind of a peer-to-peer banking network.
Okay.
Local Bitcoins is great. They're all peer-reviewed.
Okay.
But as far as transferring it, usually what you do is you use currency to exchange value with somebody else. So
Sure.
if somebody had a sailboat for sale and Grant wanted to buy it, he could look at them and say, do you take Bitcoin? They say yes. He sends them the Bitcoin. They give him the title.
And then that's it.
That's it.
That's incredible. Okay, so Tom, take me back a little bit. We kind of dove into what Bitcoin is, the dean of the new currency, Rosetta Stone of Bitcoin. I mean, you're disrupting the whole industry here, revolving around currency. How did you get involved in this? How did that happen?
Okay, so I did
does
not tell my wife I was buying Bitcoin. If you tell your
You
wife,
have a really interesting story too.
yeah. If you tell your wife you're buying Bitcoin, she's gonna say don't do it. So I bought some Bitcoin, 500 bucks worth at $7.
Okay.
And back then you stored it on your computer, and it was stored on your hard drive. So if you lost your hard drive, you lost your coins because they're serial numbers. They look like VIN numbers on cars. Okay, and so they're stored. So I had put the laptop up in storage, and I guess about a year later, I looked at the price of Bitcoin. It was $438.
Okay.
So that 500 bucks turned into $29,000.
Nice.
And so life kind of went on. I didn't really think about it, but I'm an anarchist. I mean, I don't like banks. 74% of people do not like banks or trust them, according to Gallup poll. That poll just came out.
Right.
So people dislike banks because they charge too many fees. They don't really provide great service. You know, they're not for the average person. I mean, the average person pays a ton of bank fees.
Understood.
And so
you got involved in this because you wanted to find a better way to handle and have more control of your money.
I like my slogan has always been own your world. And I think when you have all your money at the bank and you read these horror stories of like the rapper up in Atlanta went into Bank of America, pulled out 200 grand to go buy a Lamborghini, walks out, they called the police on him. They pinned him down, took his money. I think people should be allowed, as long as they're using it for legal purposes, I think they should be able to control their privacy and control their finances.
So what would be the top 5 things that somebody that doesn't know anything about Bitcoin, what could they learn from you and what could they implement right away?
I think the important thing is they could learn how to do a transaction.
Okay.
Okay. They could learn how to buy it. They could set up a Coinbase account and learn how to buy and sell it.
Sure.
They could learn how to go to, say, Gyft, gyft.com, and they could learn how to buy gift cards. Like I can, if you sent me $1,000 in Bitcoin, I can go to Gift and I can buy a Whole Foods card for $400 and go use it to buy groceries. So I could actually convert what you sent me into groceries that go, or I could buy a gift card from Walmart. They sell them. McDonald's rewards programs uses Bitcoin now. But when PayPal comes out with their e-wallet, that just opens up everything. And of course, Amazon already using the app purse.io. You can use it on Amazon as well and save money on every purchase.
Sure.
So I don't know why you wouldn't. It's just, there's a couple extra steps, but it's no different than email. Email was different. You had to log onto the computer and pull up your browser and open your email client. You had to send the email. There was different steps involved. There's just difference at same amount of steps, just different. And if you understand it, number one, you can save money, you can control your finances, and what's more important is the money. I mean, Laura and I, my wife, we bought some Bitcoin back in February of 2015. We sensed that the Argentine market was probably going to create a demand for it, not Argentine, Greece market. And sure enough, Bitcoin has tripled in value. So the money that we put in has tripled in value. I can move that now into dollars if I want, or I can go use it to buy whatever I want.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So I mean, I like the idea of a currency that increases like in value, like Berkshire Hathaway stock. That's what I want. I want my money to do that instead of doing the opposite direction.
The opposite direction.
I want to run up and up escalator. That gets you to retirement faster.
I'm with you.
You with me? Okay, good.
I understand.
So make sure.
One of the things that you said was that it's internet based.
Right.
It's on the internet. I'm gonna play the opposite end of the spectrum here. What happens if that goes down?
We have a lot more problems than your money.
Okay. But
fair answer.
If I have all of my money in
now here's the deal. You can on a
you understand what I'm asking?
No,
right?
here, yeah, I got it. On a device, you can store it on what we call hot storage.
Sure.
But you can actually store your coins on cold storage as well, meaning on paper. So you can actually take an offline software program that will save it to what's called cold storage.
Okay.
And that's real important. And actually, we talked about in one of our interviews with Sonny Ray from UnoCoin. We talked about that.
Yes.
That's a great interview to watch if you're a beginner. And so when you store them in cold storage, like you could take right now, if we had $1 million, Grant has $1 million. He puts it all into cold storage.
Right.
He goes over to Europe,
Yeah.
and he finds an investor over there who wants to buy $1 million in Bitcoin. He can decipher his cold storage for the guy right there using an offline software program. All his serial numbers are there. Guy gives him the $1 million or puts it in the account. Grant turns over the serial numbers to him. Deal done. He just left the United States with a piece of paper or a tracer, a little USB thing, with $1 million on it.
Wow.
So, I mean, how do you prevent the movement?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
no.
incredible.
And that's why governments don't like it, is because they talk about the ability or people to move. They don't want to see their money moving out without them knowing about it.
I understand. So what determines a Bitcoin's value then?
Just same as a stock. It's market traded.
market
The
traded.
bigger the demand. Remember, there's only 21 million serial numbers. So as the Bitcoin community has grown around around Bitcoin, the value's gone up. There's more demand for it now than there's ever been. And companies like OneCoin that have come along, they have 1.9 million members, 6 times larger than Bitcoin in 18 months. And we call them the AOL of digital currency. They're the second mover. First mover advantage is bad in technology. It really is. You get all the mistakes. You get the image, the bad boy image, and all that. Because like Napster is the bad boy. iTunes is the good boy. Okay. So when you look at like OneCoin, they've come along and they've created this PayPal version of digital currency, and everybody's jumping all over it. There are like 10,000 people a day joining the community.
Wow.
And
10,000 people a day.
10,000 people a day, and we've seen the coin go from 43 cents a year ago up to $7 in value already. And they could be looking at a $100 or $200 coin in the next 24 months.
Understood. So,
and Bitcoin, by the way, has a price target of $4,000 to $11,000 per coin. It's at 500 right now. And
$4,000 to $11,000?
$4,000 to $11,000. Wow. So that's like 10 to 25 times your money. So if you just bought $1,000 worth of Bitcoin,
that could be worth
$25,000.
Dang, that's crazy.
So we know that the past results are not indicative of future performance, but it's one of those new spaces that was like the tech stock industry.
Right.
And if you miss that, I will tell you the biggest regret you'll have in your life is missing investing in digital currency and new currency. You really want to get on it.
You want to invest. So last couple questions before we wrap up. Why would a business owner or a entrepreneur right now that's just starting up a business, creating something, or even has something existing, why would they want to transfer the way that they handle money and processing over to Bitcoin?
Okay, so that's a good question. Why did you start accepting Visa, MasterCard?
Because I wanted to make money.
Because you wanted more payment options, you wanted to access more of an audience.
Okay, fair enough.
So you would accept Bitcoin or
wanted real
OneCoin
simple.
or
It's like
Ethereum
that.
to, yeah, that's a simple answer.
Yeah.
You want to, like right now with Grant Cardone's business, if you announce in Miami that you all are accepting Bitcoin, you will be one of the first product providers or companies to announce that you're accepting Bitcoin for products and services. Guess what? News agencies are going to report on you, and y'all are going to get free PR. So I tell every business, and here's a great example. We can close it out with this. I went into a memorabilia shop in Las Vegas, and same example. I said, "Are you taking Bitcoin?" He said, "No." And I said, "What's your most expensive?" He said, "Why should I?" I said, "What's your most expensive product?" He said, $22,000.
Wow.
I said, "So it'll cost you $800 to sell me that product. If I paid with my Bitcoin, showed him my app, if I just scanned it, it'd be 1%. Okay? I said, "Is that enough reason?" And I said, "And by the way, if I paid in Visa MasterCard, 60 days later, you all of a sudden get a call from Visa saying I disputed it because I didn't get the product. So now you've got a $22,000 chargeback." You know,
We talked about this. You talked about the bypass, like getting rid of those chargebacks.
Yeah, no, I mean, and so when you think about it, it's a no-brainer for businesses, but there's a giant community, and the average income of the Bitcoin user is $125,000.
Wow.
So you've got a very affluent community, the Bitcoin community, and they're very intelligent, but it's just growing every day. Yeah, I hope, thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people start taking it because of this interview.
I love it. And they
Didn't you guarantee me that?
I can try.
You can try.
I certainly can. So guys, this is Tom. Tom's got a show on GrantCardoneTV.com called The Coin Profit. He's bringing content every single week about this industry, the seventh disruption, the new digital currency, the Rosetta Stone of Bitcoin sitting right next to me over here. Tom, how can people find you? How can they follow you?
Best way is thecoinprofit.info. Thecoinprofit.info.
And what are we going to find when we go over there?
Well, you're going to find a page where you put your information in, and we're going to give you our free ebook, Seventh Disruption PDF. We'll give you the audiobook. We're going to give you access to the New Currency University, where I'm the dean of. I skipped college. I went straight to the dean.
You went right to the dean. He's like, forget it. We're just going to
My parents think it's the craziest thing on earth. I said, why not, But yeah, we'll give you that, and we have a free membership there where you can access. I've got about 40 videos on little
training videos.
No, 5-minute videos. Yeah,
okay.
How to set up a Bitcoin account, how to do this, how to do that. So we've set all that up, and it's a 101 course.
Awesome. I love it. Well, Tom, thank you so much for coming in here today. The biggest takeaway that I got out of this is going to help you own your world, especially when it comes to your finances. I'm highly interested in that, and I know you should be too. Stay tuned for our next episode of Ask the Pro, where every week we will sit down with somebody in that chair and the expert in their industry and bring you the tips, the tricks, the facts, everything you need to know to become a pro wherever you are. Tom, take care, guys.